Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers and this is Annie265, and we're going to continue with our lip sync animations. We have all our phonemes placed into Studio Library. Go ahead and get that set up to where you have one of them clicked and have this open up to where you can apply the lip sync. What I did was also I set it up so I have, if I move this to 0, I've got, and if I go into my picker here real quick, I've got 0 set up as default pose. So I've got him in the default pose at 0, and I went ahead and keyed the basics. So you can see I've got a keyframe on 0. So I'm going to click off of that and go back into the Malcolm face in case I need that. I'm going to have that in back of this guy right here. Alright, so I'm just going to move this to frame 1 and just start this at frame 1. Alright, so we're going to start our lip sync. So we're going to have a key pose at the default at 0, so we can go back to it if we need to. And a frame 1 is that default pose, and any animation that we put on will be 1 to however long the audio clip is and the animation is. So that's how I set mine up. As a backup, I always like to have the default pose at 0. Some of you are doing that too as well, which is good. Alright, so we've got our phoneme set up. We just need to bring on our audio in. Now you can drag and drop your audio into the timeline. But you can also right click over and go to audio and import audio. Now what I'd said before is that you need to place your WAV files, your audio files, into the sound folder under your project folder in Maya, so you can easily get to it. So import audio, and we have our sound files. Let's click on sound. So I've got 2 folders, Module 5 assignment audio files. I'll click on that, and I'm going to click on, we're going to work together on Crazy 2 WAV file. Import that. Okay, so here's the sound file. Alright, so here's the sound file, and if we scrub it, you can hear it.
So crazy someplace else.
So you can go slow if you want to. And you can see that it's starting before we want it to. So let's go ahead and fix that first. And the way to do that is to go in here and right click over the sound file, go to audio, and we can go to Crazy 2. That's our sound file. We can turn it off if we want to. And we can go back in there and turn it back on again. And with that, we want to right click over it and go into the option box. So go to audio, go to your sound file, Crazy 2, and then click on the option box. And in here, I'm going to minimize this for a second. In here, we've got some audio attributes, okay? So we've got silence, we've got end frame at 83, source end at 83, and you'd think if we have source start, it's starting at 0. So we can't really change that. That won't do anything. But up here in offset, we're going to offset at 10 frames, and I think that's a good amount of time for the audience to see your character before the lip sync starts. You can type in whatever you want. I wouldn't go anything over a second, which is 24 frames. Anything over that is kind of, you just dead space. So I'm going to do 10 frames. That seems to work pretty good. So I'm going to go 10 frames, offset, hit enter, okay? And you'll notice that our starting point starts at 10, which is great. So let's go ahead and play that now.
So crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
So that's going to give you a chance to get your character position, mouth positions in the right place. You can start him with his mouth open or with it closed. I don't really have a preference. Sometimes I just start with it, the lips parted a little bit, taking a breath, you know. Sometimes when you talk, you got to take a breath first, really quick.
So crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
It's up to you, whatever you want to start. So right now, I'm just going to start with the lip syncing, and if I want to add a little something between frames 1 and 10, I can. But anyway, that gives you a little a space here for the audience just to see the character first before the lip sync starts.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Okay. So you can change that anytime you want to. If you don't like what you hear, again, you want to kind of pace yourself. Again, you can go into audio and go into this option here and change that to 20 if you want to, 15 if you want to, 14 if that works better for you. Whichever you like. Don't go over 20. Okay, I appreciate that. So I'm going to go to 10. Keep that where it is. And let's listen to the audio. You're going to have to know the audio inside and out.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Okay, now also a cool thing is I can go ahead and take this timeline and extend it up so we can see the audio better. Okay? You can see the inflections in the voice. So there's sell, right? And I've got my breakdown sheet over on the other monitor. You can't see it, but sell. So now we need to have this guy right here open. There we go. Bring that over here. Okay. And we're going to work on one section at a time. It doesn't matter if I'm too low or not, or too high or whatever. So what I'm going to do is beforehand, we need to have the rest position right before you hear the audio. Okay, so it could be a rest position, could be a default pose, I don't know. But we need to have, we got to have our curves selected. So that's why I'm going to select my quick select curves. And we're going to start with cell. So the first one, the first pose is this, right? So let's start with 10. So we're going to do C and apply. All right. And we're going to do a keyframe. All right. So I do a keyframe there. Problem is it starts before, so you can this is what it looks like.
So crazy.
And that doesn't look quite right, does it? So on frame 8, okay, we're gonna need at frame 9 to go ahead and do the default pose. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. Okay, and hit the S key. So
crazy.
that's kind of an abrupt, right? So sometimes I'll take this, and we got to give it a couple frames. So like where we want it to start, you want to offset a little bit, especially the first phoneme. And so let's go to frame 11 or 12. So it needs to kind of flow. We got to give it a couple frames to flow into that. Sell, 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 sell. So here I might, instead of that, I might want to do my rest pose. Okay, because the rest pose will help bring that in and slide it in a little bit better. So we go in here, my rest pose, apply. Let me apply that and hit the keyframe, set it.
So crazy.
Go to 5, and I'm going to do normal, or default pose. Apply that, and set that key. I'm gonna copy this or cut this and go a couple frames here. Paste, paste. Okay. There's A, that's E. Let's go ahead and do E. Apply. And E, is that mouth open enough? I still see the teeth. I don't know if I like that. We can rotate around. Yeah, I gotta be able to see the teeth a little bit. There we go. Open, I need to see. There we go. Okay. And set the key. We play it a little bit. Okay, all right. Because we can change all this stuff as we go along, but this is kind of how we're working it. So cell, we want the L. Okay. Apply. Okay, keyframe that. Cell. So I'm looking at a mirror too as well while I'm doing this. Cell. We want that. So that one would be crazy. So let's start with that one. See how that one looks. Set a key. So crazy. So A. Let's do that one. A. Set that key. So I'm just scribbing it. See how it looks. Crazy. So crazy. There we go. Let's give that a couple. Right there on frame 22. I'm going to try that. C. Apply. Hit the S key. C. So go back to E or A. Okay. Hit the S key. That looks pretty good. Saw. So we got some. See? Some. There we go. Saw. Set it. some M. Set the key. See if that how that looks. Someplace. Let me get a default pose in there. So bring that mouth back up. Place. Suppla la la. And apply that. Set the keyframe. Apply keyframe. C. Apply. Set the keyframe. So there we go. That's pretty good. Okay, ace. L. Okay, put that in there. A. Set a keyframe. Okay. And S. Okay. Else. S. And set the keyframe. There we go. Okay, what? Forgot the A. Alright, so A, I didn't keyframe that one, so I'm going to keyframe that one in there. There we go. There we go. Okay, let me go out of this or move the time slider over a little bit. All right, we're getting to the 50 frame look, and you can see where we're at here. You'd have this back on again. So you can easily keyframe it. So you can see it moves pretty quickly. Now this is just a block out. Okay, so we need to kind of go back to normal, like a default resting pose. Let's apply that to that and see how that looks. Set a keyframe. Cells. Or we can just hold that. I don't know. Let me delete that. I don't think I like that. Okay, so let's go between maybe the rest pose. Let's go to rest pose, bring it up to line 56 and apply it, and let's see what happens when we do that. Let's hold that. I don't want it to float. Let's kind of do between the two, maybe. Let's do the C, right? And blend it maybe. So the C comes off of it a little bit more. And of course I lost this. Let me go into that. So I'm going to blend. I'm kind of blending this in here. I'm going to apply that blend between those two at 52. I'm going to apply it a little bit. The blend 52. Let's see if it'll hold that. There we go. And hit the S key on that and see how that looks. Let's try it and see how it looks. I don't know if I'm going to like that or not, but we'll see. Alright, so now we're up here. I'm going to have to move this up a little bit, which means I've got to move down, up and down for the W and W. Just got to remember that. And because I can't have this, let's bring this down in a little bit more. This is where a dual monitor would be really, really nice. Because I'm kind of messed. Here we go. Okay. Because I gotta have the ability to turn this on and off. All right. So now we're in here. At this point. Else get that one applied to there. The keyframe. Now what's gonna happen. I gotta go back to here again, turn this on. Did you notice that if I'm going back and forth, sometimes it takes off of the timeline in this perspective and puts it on here. So you've got to go back to your perspective, turn on your control curves, and test the animation. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, we've got to get full face here. A, and apply that. There we go. And hit the S key. That looks good. Raw. I don't want too much. See the L. See where we're at here. Hit the S key. We want the L there. Right, I think. There we go. Let's do the A there. Hit the S key. There we go. Okay, C. Apply. S key. There we go. Roll stock. That's the A. We can see the waveform go way up there. It's a lot higher. So AI. Set key. See how that looks. Stocked. Stock. So C. So we're all stocks. We're all stocked. I think it's a C. Stocked. We got the stock. So stocked. Let's go to C there. Apply it. 73 S. Yeah. Up. Okay. Stocked up. Okay, we need that up to be a. So apply that one. Let's see how that looks. Hit the S key and see how that translates in there. Okay, let's go back into here again. Up. Okay, right there is P. Up. So up. PM. Apply it. Hit the S key and see what it looks like. Stock up. Here. So maybe E right here. Apply it. S key, so take a look at what it looks like. Let's scrub it. Get back in here. Sometimes I gotta click on that window to get it back again, so before I scrub it again. There we go. Yeah, it looks pretty good. There we go. Here. Gotta when you mouth it out, here, it goes into like an O. So I want to hit that and apply it. Here we go. See how that looks? Here we go. Here. Yeah, looks pretty good. Here. And that kind of goes off. Here. I'm going to go into a rest pose. Right there, here, and go ahead and apply that. And hit the S key, see how that looks. Here we go. And go to default pose. Apply an S. That looks pretty good for the first pass. That looks pretty dang good for the first pass. Let's take a look. Without the, let's see, viewport. Let's turn off the curves. There we go. Let's take a look at it in real time. Go ahead and play it.
Sound crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
That looks pretty good for the first pass.
Sound crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here. Sound crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here. Sound crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Okay, let's go maybe to the side. Get a nice view. Because I'm just interested in just a blocking pass. That means it's still got to look good. It's not polished, of course, but it still has to look good.
Sell crazy someplace else.
So he's taking a breath here. I can see he needs to take a breath.
Sell crazy.
So you can see that I'm offsetting. He's taking a breath, and so that feels a lot. Instead of starting right here, makes no sense. We're moving into it, and that helps.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Okay, it's time to do Play Blast. Let's go ahead and proceed with that. Make sure your character is framed properly. And we go ahead and close the studio library. We're going to render out from here. So let's go into your render settings and make sure that you have 1K square out. Okay, so let's go ahead and so we're going to render from render settings. So we should be getting that exact size. Go ahead and right click over and go to Play Blast in option box. In here, we want to make sure we're AVI. We want encoding to be XVID. We want quality to be 100. We want the display size to be from render settings. We want the scale to be 100%. Frame padding to be 3. Save to file, make sure that's on. And then we want to go ahead in here. Movie file, let's go ahead and get, yeah, we don't need that on. Let's go ahead and we want to browse, find out where we want to go. Movie file name, we want to type your first initial last name and module MOD05, and this will be what is this, your first one? So 01. And let's see, let's do lip sync 01. There we go. So module 5, that looks good. And I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go to Control C, which is copy, and go to browse. I'm going to place this into my movies folder. Okay. So I'm going to type in, just kind of Control V that, and that'll be the first one I turn in. Of course, the second one will be number 2, number 3, and so on and so forth, until you get 5 of your Play Blast lip syncs done. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save, okay, and Play Blast.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Looks good. All right. So it's just going to loop forever and ever and ever. So double check it, make sure the audio's there, and I will see you guys in the next video. And have a great time. Make sure you finish all your lip syncing. I'm only going to do Sell Crazy Someplace Else. We're all stuck up here, showing you how I did it, and that way you can just take that information and the knowledge that you learned from that into your other lip sync animations following the dialogue that I gave you guys. Have a great time, and I'll see you guys in class hopefully next week. I'll see you on Tuesday.